Start here. Okay, I'm Sherman here. I'm proposing on behalf of Neville. Why I chose to be his proposer is because when he first came to Blockcom, there was a lot of responsibilities placed upon him, and I feel like throughout the years he has done a lot that has met or even exceeded our expectations. Since Sem 1, he has taken on many responsibilities, such as helping out in cultural night and other block suppers, as well as block events, which I felt that many of the other freshies, even though they took on the role, he actually took a lot of initiatives, and I felt that this role actually, the role of the block head is the most suitable for him. That's why I had encouraged and also encouraged him more to pick up the role of the block head, which I'm glad he did. And also, while at the same time, he also joined other stuff such as SMC and also Yusof Works, which was, I think, one of his passions about photography and publishing. So like, when he took on all of these responsibilities, he has showcased a lot of capabilities in actually balancing his work so that he doesn't suffer as well in his studies and also in other areas. While there are many other issues in our Blockcom, I felt that he has actually taken a very prominent role in amongst the freshie to actually step up and then take on these challenges head on. So in this case, even though he might not be the most outspoken candidate or even be the most efficient, I felt like he has the most endurance in the Blockcom, which I felt was something that we needed sorely this year because our block was quite different from what we expected. So in this aspect, I felt that he stood the best in terms of, he was the most suitable role that I had in mind to choose as our next block head. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sherman. Now we'll invite Neville to give his speech.
Okay, thank you guys for taking the time to come down today, even though it's such a busy time. Okay, so I'm Neville and I'll be running for block head next year. Alongside with me will be Shi and Jane. In the past year that I've spent in Yusof, I've learned a lot through the seniors. Through these experiences, right, I've actually developed a better view of what hall life can actually be. I'll just go straight into the things that I feel like I could have done better as a Blockcom member. Firstly, I feel like we could have better involved the freshies at the start of the semester. Even during EHOP, I noticed that we actually had a few neighbours who already moved in but did not join in for our camp. I feel like maybe we could have done better in that aspect to incorporate them and then join in a group so that they don't feel left out before the school semester actually starts. After all, the camp is actually, I feel like it was the best way for us to get to know everybody at the same time. Also, I think that it's better now that most of us will be living on the same floors respectively, because I feel that the proximity does actually affect quite a lot on how the batch can come together. Other concerns I may have for the next upcoming year is that small cliques may form because friends from other blocks may be shifting over. However, I don't think an issue is an issue that cliques are forming, but rather they should remain open and not close themselves off because their closer friends are right next to them now. I hope that everyone will remain equally or more supportive of our block events, and the Blockcom will always try to improve the well-being of our block. Seniors, I feel that feel free to give us any constructive feedback, we will definitely take it. I look forward to the upcoming year. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, anyone can ask any questions. Sure.
Okay, so you mentioned that you don't want kids to close up to themselves. So what if that happens and what are the plans to tackle that issue?
Thank you. Okay, for me, I feel that for these cliques to form, right, because they already have a group of friends that they have come across through any other aspect instead of being in our block. So for these cliques, I feel that the main thing is to actually just attract the interest of one person, as in you have to be on good terms or be good friends with this person, and all you need is just for this person to be there and they can encourage the rest of the team to be like together with the rest of the block. But then because they are so close, like I would feel like daily things like going for dinner, they will always be on their own. I feel like it's not only their responsibility but the responsibility of everyone else to also be like open two ways. Like I ask you and you ask me, not just rely on them joining us. Doesn't mean because they are there we can't join them or they can't join us. Yeah, so I feel like it's the responsibility of both parties lah. We shouldn't put it on any one person. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions?
What are the strengths and weaknesses you have about this blog, and how do you plan on address some of the weaknesses that we have?
Sorry, can you repeat the second part?
How do you, if there are any weaknesses in our blog, how do you plan on addressing them in the subsequent year?
Okay, thank you. Okay, so currently, right, I feel like the weakness of our blog will be that the batch does not spend as much time together as it is optimal, I guess, if you can say that. So even for myself, right, I would say that I do not spend a lot of my time in hall other than when I need to be. So for the case, right, like for example, daily I study outside, I study with my course mates, and then when I'm back in hall, then I'll join my hall friends. So I can see why other people would do that, but because everybody does that, we tend to be a bit more fragmented into maybe our courses or our faculties. So I feel like it could be a sacrifice, but I feel like if we had to spend more time together, right, we should do it because, like, even though you may not be studying, let's say, you can be doing your work with your friends in hall. So even though it may not be the most productive time, it's okay because you have the company of your friends. And I think that I learned a lot in Sem 2 that the company and support of your friends is actually really important, and we should, like, I feel like our batch can work on that. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay.
Another question. So the blog heads need to work very closely with the student affairs director each year. So I was thinking, what did you think that the SAD can do better this year, and what do you hope for the SAD to do for you and your blog next year?
Currently, can I just clarify that SAD, we will work SAD regarding HNC events, right?
And mostly stuff like, so like when you collaborate, when BlogCall collaborates with other events, right, which is something we are trying to encourage in so far, it will be mainly through the SAD. Yeah, so these two channels.
Okay, so you would like me to elaborate on how we can work better with SAD?
Yeah, especially you because you've been
Okay.
blockhead if you're elected. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Currently, right, I would say that I have quite limited knowledge of what how a blockhead would interact with a SAD, but through the past events, right, honestly, I feel that because as a member, I did not know as much of how much we need to be involved with HNC events. I can feel like at times the events that occur do not happen at very strategic timings, and for example, like in Sem 2, right, I remember we had a few events that it was personally not possible for me to take up, and I had to pull out of it. So I feel like if I were to become the blockhead and have to interact with the SAD, right, I feel like I will make sure that the entire blog.com is very clear of what the job scope on how much we need to help in these events, and have a clear timeline if possible before each semester begins, so that we are not taken back by surprise and we can strategize our time and our events, even for our internal blog events, such that they complement each other instead of clashing. Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else have any other question? No?
Actually, I got one more, sorry.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so it's a very, not say simple question, but it's more internal. So I wanna ask, what do you expect from your block.com next year? Cause I wanna make sure that you let them know clearly at the start. And what you mentioned about the SAD thing, yeah, it's a good point. So I think you should do that. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for your question. Regarding the commitment of block.com members, I've actually spoken to them before like actually discussing about taking up the blockhead role. So as I mentioned just now, Shing and Jane will be taking on the block.com role together with me next year. So I've discussed with them regarding their commitment levels on their CCAs within hall and outside of hall. Both Jane and Shing are decorated sportsmen, and they are quite involved in their sports outside of just Yusof. So after discussing with them, right, they actually did inform me that block.com will be actually quite high up the list because even though they may have other committees in hall, right, personally I know that Jane and Shing are not really intending to stay year 3, so whatever committees they join this year, they are really doing it out of their passion, and of course together as a team with me, and I would like them to support me as much as possible because even though I'm a blockhead, I feel like the responsibility is really quite spread out. I would say that blockhead is actually just a title. You may be the one making the decisions, but you actually require the support and the decision initiatives by your members. So that would be what I'll be expecting out of Jane and Shing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
What criteria do you have you set for choosing block.com members? Because there are often cases where sometimes blockheads experience issues when you choose block.com members. Maybe they might be very active during orientation or camps, but further on in the year, maybe